Back to school is here. And this is a great time for us as business owners to lift off with the same momentum that the kids have going back to school. They're all excited, shopping for their backpacks and getting their wardrobes together. For me, it's a little bittersweet because my second son, who's still living at home, my older son's off in college, this will be my last back to school with him. I can't believe it, before he graduates high school. But in our businesses, back to school can be every single year. And it's almost like a second New Year's, right? You get that fresh energy, that reset, and it's a really good time to build momentum so that you can meet those bigger revenue goals that you set way back in January. We're now past that halfway mark in the year. So let's use back to school to think about how we can get some new routines going and how we can also make a plan so that we can reach the goals that we set back in January as we head into Q3 and then Q4, which for many business owners is one of the most lucrative seasons of the entire year, most lucrative quarters. So there are three things you can do as we head into this back to school. The first thing is to think about how you can look back at the intentions that you set and the goals that you set and turn those into action. The three things I recommend you do are: one, revisit those goals. If you have them written down, pull them out and circle or mentally circle, if it's digital, the 1 to 2 things that are really going to move the needle for your business. If you didn't set goals in January, set them now. We're just a little bit past that halfway mark, so it is not too late. You can set goals for the second half of the year. In our programs, women use a projections calculator that we share that helps them to map out exactly how many clients and customers they'll need to meet their goals. You can DM me if you want a copy of that, or use whatever system you use to set goals. And then I want you to think about what marketing materials, assets, strategies do I need to fine tune right now while things are still a little bit quiet before that back to school hits and everyone's back in their offices and people are ready for business. So maybe you want to open up a Google Doc and write out 10 emails that you're going to send out over the course of the fall that will lead people to set up calls with you or sign up for your programs or buy whatever it is you have to sell. Maybe you want to spend a little time right now looking at competitors and seeing what tactics have changed. Everything's moving so quickly in digital marketing. So that's the number one thing to do, is revisit your goals and think about what marketing materials do I need to move the needle on those 1 or 2 big priorities that really make a difference and are going to make an impact when back to school hits and you're heading into the end of Q3 and then Q4. The second thing I'd like you to do is to tighten up your calendar. I'm a big believer that if it's not in your calendar, it's not in your life. So have you time blocked your calendar? I know during the summer, we can get into kind of loosey-goosey mode where it's like, oh, I'll work a few hours. Maybe I'll go to the pool. Maybe I'll take a little trip. I know I've left on some Thursdays and Fridays, just taking advantage of things being slower. But now it's time to get back into a routine where in your calendar, you've blocked out time to do the activities that are RG. That's a term we use in the $1 Million Women community, and it means revenue generating. That could be everything from reaching out to former clients to see if they want to do anything with you again, to writing thought leadership posts that you can put on LinkedIn or on Instagram or wherever it is you like to post, to reaching out to potential clients, anything that is potentially revenue generating. But if you don't time block on that on your calendar, it tends to be the thing that falls to the bottom of the list. And then that's going to have a big impact on whether or not you can reach those bigger goals that you set back in January or 5 minutes ago. And then the third thing I'd like you to think about doing is consider doing a 90-day sprint starting on September 1st. For some people, back to school is mid-August, depending where you live in the country. Here in New York, where I am, it's right in the first week of September. But once that September first week hits, everyone's going to be back at their desk, back in full swing. So could you start a 90-day sprint starting in September that takes you through the end of November? Those 90 days are so critical for your business. Once December comes, people start taking their foot off the gas, getting into that vacation mode, wanting to go on their, Christmas breaks or whatever holidays they're taking. So I'd like you to think about what are the top 3 to 4 priorities of things that have to get done between now and the end of December. And if you have some kind of a spreadsheet or tool you always like to use for that, stick with that. Or maybe you have some kind of a software that you're using, like a Monday or a ClickUp or something that helps you to keep track of all the projects in your company. But if you don't, we have a 90-day plan tool that many women use in our community to do this very kind of 90-day sprint, where you identify these top few priorities. Then you think about what metrics you'll need to hit in order to meet them. Then you think, who do I need to pull in to get this done? Maybe it's you and a team member. Maybe you're going to hire a virtual assistant. Maybe it's you and your social media person. And then breaking it down into actionable items that you can just check off one by one and reach those bigger goals. We've seen women make another $400,000 in their business just by being methodical and having that 90-day plan. So if you've never done one before, this might be a good time to start. And you have a few weeks until it's September 1st to get that into place. You can just DM me and I will send you our 90-day plan tool for free so you can check it out. DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram. I am easy to find. All right, I hope you can use one of those 3 tips to get you back into the getting stuff done mode, because now that it's fall, we need to get out of summer brain and get back into how are we going to meet our bigger goals. This is such a good time to be doing that planning and getting ready. Here at Million Dollar Women, we're getting ready for our next cohort, which starts in September. It's going to be our Million Dollar Women Accelerator Express, where women who want to scale up their businesses work directly with me. We meet once a week, every Friday, and I help them make big pivots, set bigger goals, learn how to price their products and services, and get paid. In our last class, we did a whole masterclass on how do you get paid, because sometimes you can get a big contract, but getting paid can get drawn out over weeks and weeks and weeks, and there are actual practical tips and solutions to fix that. If that interests you, reach out to us. We're at millionwomen.com. I'll throw up that little banner so you can find us easily. And hang on, that is not the banner, but here it comes. Voila, millionwomen.com. You can set up a call and we'll see if Accelerator Express is a good fit for you and your business. I would love to work with you for 6 weeks and help you reach those bigger revenue goals. In the meantime, enjoy the final days of summer and take a little time today, right after watching this video, to reach out to me for that 90-day plan tool or do some projections and think about what big goals do you want to reach between now and the end of 2025. I'll see you back here soon. And in the meantime, stay brave, go big, and enjoy back to school if your kids are going back. I'm going to savor my last one. All right. I'll see you soon. Take care.